Hey everybody, Raziel here, coming back at you with another Smite God build for the Xbox One, or any platform for that matter. This week we are bringing to the table Izanami, Matron of the Dead, for patch 4.2. She fills the role of hunter for the Japanese pantheon, and she can shred gods and objectives so friggin' fast that you won't even have a chance to react, run, or call for help. This video is intended for those just starting out playing Izanami, those who need a refresher with the god, or those who feel confident going toe-to-toe in your lane against an Izanami when all of a sudden you see out of the corner of your eye your wave is gone, and boom! Being shredded back to the fountain faster than a chunk of fine aged cheddar. We will start out with her abilities, or kit as I call them, then go over her relics and item build, and finish off the video with ability combos and fighting scenarios. If you like the video, please hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future Smite guides. Also, feel free to leave a comment below requesting any gods or just to say hello for the friggin' hell of it. Also, I've set up a clan on the Xbox One called Victis, and it's open for anyone to join if they like. Let's get into those abilities. Before we get started, I have to go over a little housekeeping that I have for every video. I play with the Savage layout on the Xbox One, which may look different from what you guys are playing with. Also, the PS4 has different buttons, and the PC and Mac have a different UI altogether. So as such, from now on, I'll be calling out her abilities as 1, 2, 3, and 4, with the 1 ability all the way over to the left, and the 4, or her ultimate, being the one on the right. Hopefully this clears up any possible confusion later on in the video, but let's get started with these abilities. Starting out with her passive, it's called Death Draws Nigh. The closer Izanami gets to death, the more powerful she becomes. She gains 4% physical penetration for each 15% of her health missing, for a max of 20%. So if you're almost dead, you'll have an extra 20% penetration in your abilities. Now if you look over there to the passive meter right there between where the relics and items go, in her health bar, you can see a little fan, like an Asian fan, geisha fan, or whatever. The more health you're missing, the more that gauge fills up towards the right. So I don't know if you'll notice that in the video here, but when you play the god, you'll see at some point if you're missing any of your health, it will be reddish, pink, whatever, glowing along that fan, just denoting how much you're missing and how much penetration you're getting. Her 1, is called Sickle Storm. It's a buff for 6 seconds, which is a long time, freaking, to be honest. She throws her comma, or sickles, even faster and furiously. Now, before I finish reading this, I want to go over this real quick. Her basic attacks are different than everybody else's. Every other hunter's, we'll say. In the sense, if you throw it, which I'm going to do right now, it's like a boomerang effect and comes back. So not only do you get a hit when you throw it out, but you can also hit when it comes back. So essentially, if you're clearing the wave, you can get 2 hits per stack. Now, there's additional damage, initial damage, and then the second on the way back damage is not as great as the initial damage. Going through. Hopefully that made sense. It does in my head. If you have any questions, I'll try to clarify it in the comments below. Anyway, back to this ability. While active, she gains attack speed, and her basic attacks no longer return to her, like I just demonstrated. Instead, they just go straight through. Applying damage, bonus damage, in addition to 100% of her basic attack power per hit. This bonus damage applies to all targets, including structures. So what that last sentence means is that she can shred down towers super fast. Her split push, capabilities are up there. It's just ridiculous. Or as a team fight, semi-team fight at a tier 1 or tier 2 tower, and everyone's kind of pushing the enemy back. She can just sit in the back and throw her comma there and just shred down those abilities. I'm going to say the word shred a lot in this video because that's what she friggin' does. Is shred. Anyway, her 2 is called Spectral Projection. It's a line ability. She sends forth a demonic visage of herself to strike down her enemies, damaging and slowing all enemies in the line. So it does damage, it does, and then it slows. If an enemy god is killed while slowed by this ability, future uses of the slow will be increased by 6% per kill, up to twice, for a maximum of 30%. So the last line's kind of confusing. So each time you kill a god, if my understanding is correct, you get, with this active on that enemy god, you'll get a 6% additional slow on the item. Now what does that mean? Well, it means if you kill them twice, you're going to get 12% added to your slow. And if you kill them a third time, it's just going to cap at 3%. I mean 12%. I don't know why I said 3. 12%. So you can't, if you kill that god 5 times with that slow active, it's only going to be 12%. Now, so what that means is you need to kill at least 2 gods twice and then a third god another time to get to the 30%. So if that makes sense. So kill every god once and that will get it there too. So an additional 30% slow is increased. Or am I reading that right? No. Wait. I don't know. Is it 18 plus 12, which is 30? I don't know. Either way, you somebody explain the math down below, because I'm just fumbling now. We're going to move past this. You get a 30% maximum slow when you hit somebody with this, if you kill them, etc., etc. It's great, you know, once you get that passive in the ability, because it will allow you to set up for yourself and your team to do some damage. Let's move on to 3, because I just confused the hell out of myself even. That damn freaking sentence. Fade away. It's considered a leap. Although she kind of goes underneath like a Scylla teleport, or whatever you want to call it. Izanami descends into the underworld, becoming stealth, and leaps away from her current position. Taking damage or firing a damaging ability or basic attack breaks her stealth. So if you're in stealth, you don't want to do anything unless you're initiating. But if you're trying to get the hell out of dodge, you don't want to do any kind of damaging ability or take any damage as well. It's pretty much, it's just her getaway. There is something you should note about this ability though. It is not instant cast. You hit the ability and there's a, you know, maybe a second, I don't know the exact amount, but it will say a second before it actually goes. It's a pain in the ass. So you have to be aware of what the hell's happening around you and make a decision. Do I stay? Or fight or flight, pretty much. Do I stay and maybe get a kill or two before I die? Or do I try to get the hell out of dodge? And if I can't in time, I'm going to die anyhow, because everyone's just going to converge on me before I can actually get this leap off. It's a tricky leap. It's a trippy. It is kind of, maybe a little bit. It's a tricky escape, and if you don't time it right, you'll get melted. It's happened to me many times. I've raged a little bit. Anyway, Izanami on her ultimate. It's called Dark Portal. She summons a dark portal. Okay. Damaging and silencing all enemies in a area of effect down there. So I haven't gone over any of the scaling, but I'll come back to this. It puts a circle on the ground. If there's anyone in it, they're silenced, and then after a second, or 2.5 seconds. No, the silence is 2.5 seconds. After like a second, it does damage. It does 650 damage at max rank, plus an additional 130% of her physical power. Now, Izanami really only has scaling on 2 abilities, her 2 and her 4. Now, I forgot to mention it on her 2, but her 2 at max rank does 265 damage, plus an additional 90% of her physical power. And I'll go over this in the item build. You kind of think, oh, Winch, I gotta stack freaking physical, power items. You're wrong. We'll go over that in the next section. Or you're misunderstanding. Maybe you're wrong. It's a little too harsh. But anyway, that's our kit. It's pretty straightforward. I'll go over more about how to utilize it and how to use it in combinations for yourself and or teammates later on in the video after we go over the relics and items. So yeah, that's wraps up the section. Let's get to the next one. I talked way too fast there. Hopefully I didn't mumble. Alright, so now we're going to be going over her relics and her item build and everything else. And, you know, maybe some more housekeeping here is that everything I'm going to say here in this section is situational. You know, I mean, the first few items are pretty much her core items. Actually, only her first 2 items, I'd say, would be core items. And actually, I don't know. Her items right now, because I kind of don't go with the norm and with her boots, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, it's situational. It's based upon how you want to play her, how your team comp is, and how the enemy team is. So your relics are definitely going to possibly change, and your item builds will as well. This item build I'm going to be going over will work in Conquest, but, you know, specifically Hunters, they pretty much stick to your same build any game mode, except for, you know, Assaults, because you can't return to the Fountain. So you have to change things up a little bit there, but that is not what I'm going to be going over. I'm going to be going over Conquest, Jousts, etc. I seem to be talking very fast, so if I mumble, I'm sorry. Just want to get this going, you know, get this out to you guys. And apparently I had a little too much caffeine to make sure I stayed awake. Anyway, relics. She is going to be most likely in the dual lane. Some people can run her in mid lane. I don't know how successful it's been in the SPL. I don't think it has been extremely successful, but depending on who you're going against, the situation, you know, you're gonna want maybe Purification Beads or Aegis Amulet, or what it was called Sanctuary last season. If you're going against, you know, an Artemis, going against an Artemis and an Ares or whatever, you probably want to get beads, and I want to just get beads just to do that, because more times than not you're gonna need them. If you're not, for some reason, going against something that needs beads, say an AMC, you could probably pick up Heavenly Wings or Sprint, as it was previously called last season. Even a med, you won't need a med. Or you can straight go, what I was probably going to run the second item here or second relic is Sundering Spear. You could go with this first if you feel comfortable enough. I usually go with it second. If you're getting pooped on, you could also go Shield of Thorns for your second item. You know, if the AMC or whoever, Arachne or whoever's just damaging the hell out of you, you could go with Thorns to try to mitigate that. Try to get them to get beat on as well. But I most likely would go Sundering Spear, either first item or second item. And probably Purification Beads or Aegis, first item or second item, depending on who you're going against. A Neith, a Vulcan, I'd probably get Aegis. An Athena, a Ymir, an Ares, an Artemis, I'd probably go Purification Beads. And then, you know, Sundering. Sundering Spear is great because it does damage and it increases your damage as well. And if you can, I mean, it's got a huge distance, as you saw in my last video with Kumbhakarna, so you can do a lot of damage with it. So starting out, right away, you're going to want Death's Toll. Okay? Even though her scaling is pretty good on her 2 and her 3, as I said in the last section, you know, 90% and 130% physical power, you're going to want Death's Toll because she is more of an in-hand or basic attack hunter. So you want Death's Toll because it gives you power, it gives you health, but more importantly, the passive is it gives you 8 health and 3 mana per attack, per enemy hit. Now, this, you know, since her commas come back, it only works on the initial hit, or the first time you hit. I mean, even if you hit him on the way back, you missed the first way out, and you hit him on the boomerang back, then it's only gonna proc once. When she first came out, it procced every friggin' time, I think, and her sustain was just ridiculous with Death's Toll. So pick that up first. Starter item right there. You know, any game mode. Right here. Joust, I run this, you know. And then you'll probably, you know, start out with Boots 1, the $300 gold one, and then whatever potions you need. I usually run 3 health, 3 mana until I back for the first time, and then depending Mana usually I probably won't use that much because, like I said, she's a basic attack kind of god. Now, the boots item, people can go Warrior Tabby because she has that good scaling, and the Warrior Tabby will give you more physical power than the Ninja Tabby. But I like the Ninja Tabby because it gives you some mana and it gives you attack speed. Yes, she has a steroid in her 1, but her 1 is only going to be available. We're only going to proc her 1 in certain situations. So I have been going with Ninja Tabby. Not a popular choice. People might comment on this, but that initial attack speed helps me out when I'm going toe to toe with the enemy team. And so again, the third item is something I usually don't go. People in Conquest more times than not will probably go with Iqbal because you get the more attack speed. If you go Iqbal, then maybe going Warrior Tabby is the more efficient route. But Iqbal gives you 30% attack speed plus physical penetration. And each of the successful basic attacks increases your power by 10 and reduces their power by 10 for 3 seconds for up to 3 stacks. So 30 increases your power by 30 and decreases theirs by 30. This is great in dual lane in Conquest because more times than not you're going to be going against another hunter. So you'll decrease their damage potential and increase yours as well. I'll go over Conquest first, and then I'll change it up how I usually build. So after Iqbal, we're gonna go into Wind Demon. So Wind Demon gives you more power, more attack speed, and critical strike chance. But the passive is what's so great on it is it increases your attack speed and movement speed by 20% for the next 5 seconds on every proc. So it refreshes. It refreshes each time. And then after that you go Fatalis. The addition with the penetration on Fatalis here is great. The passive on it is pretty much the same from season 2. It removes any basic attack debuff or movement speed debuff while you hit with your basic attacks. And since she's primarily a basic attack god, it makes sense to put this on her. And for a final item, well, not a final item, because at some point, here we go. We're going to go Deathbringer, because it's just going to burst right there. And then after that, you could sell your Death's Toll and maybe, pick up an Aussie is usually what I pick up. Because it gives you more penetration, and it gives you more attack speed, and it gives you lifesteal. So right now her attack speed is pretty high, and maybe go Bloodforge instead of Aussie if you want. I did not mean to close it out. So now I'm gonna sell these and go with what I run in Joust because it's been working for me. So you can try this out on Conquest as well if you want. Let me put this away. So I usually go Death's Toll every time in the boots. Again, if you're feeling more confident, you could go with that additional attack, physical power from the Warrior Tabby instead of the Ninja Tabby, or Tabby, however you pronounce it. And then I go straight into Fatalis. Because what I find for me is when every time you do a basic attack, you get a movement speed debuff. You slow down, whether you're walking forward, backwards, strafing, etc. Now her comma goes out and then comes back. That debuff lasts as long as that comma is boomeranging the hell out of it. So I go Fatalis first because I hit once, and throwing the comma out, it hits on the way out, it hits once, and it hits on the way back. That refreshes my removing the debuff. Okay, words, I could do them. So that's why I rush Fatalis before the next item, which is, depending on how much money I have, I go Poison Star. Because for the amount of money essentially, you know, you get 3 grand in your pocket, 3,500. If you can stay in lane for 3,500, or even close to it, you know, where you finish off and you have the what's the word? 2,400 here. Now maybe you bought the first 2 tiers here and whatever's left over. Then more times than not, you're gonna have enough to come back and buy the tier 1. So you come in here, you finish off the poison star, and you have the ability to come back and buy the tier 1. So that gives you more power and more attack speed. So this is the build I go, you know, because you get your crit, you get your slowing them down from poison star, and a little bit extra attack speed in, when you go for tier 1 of Wind Demon. And then once you get Wind Demon, you get even more attack speed and power, movement speed and everything. And then for just S and Gs, I run the Deathbringer because it gives you physical power. Some people might go Titan's Bane instead of Deathbringer, but I just want to crit the hell out of these people. And then at the end, I will sell this, and let's see my attack speed. I'll get the Aussie. I'm 208. Yes, if I proc her 1, I'm going to overcap. But the only time I proc the 1 is in specific situations, which I'll go over again here in a few minutes. So this is the build I run in the ranked jousts and everything I play. It does a lot of damage, a lot of freaking damage. By the time I get Wind Demon on, I'm shredding tanks. Squishies are just getting melted. It's just a whole lot of fun. You giggle to yourself a little bit because it's just freaking crazy how much damage you're outputting with this build. Now, in future patches, they may take the attack speed off of one of those, the Wind Demon and the Poison Star, and that may not be viable. But for right now, this build will work for you. You may want to, the boots you could probably change out, but this build should work for you. Try it out. Let me know how it works. Anyway, that's it for items. We're gonna mosey right on into combos and fighting scenarios, etc., etc. So now we're gonna go over the fighting scenarios and her kick, ability combos and everything else, and what order to rank them up. So we're gonna go over here to Odin Squared. Say hello, boys. Look at that. Just critting along. I'm moving pretty fast between the Fatalis and the Wind Demon. Granted, that's a level 1 Odin, but just see how much I'm critting and quote unquote shredding. Okay. Now without the, that's pretty fast with the comma. All right. We're gonna proc her 1 now, so you can see how fast I'm going. Now I'm gonna proc the 1. It's even faster, and I'm not coming back. But look at how fast it is. Now imagine every one of those hitting a structure, and damn, get just shredded. I don't know why I said it like that. Anyway, so her 2 is a line, and it's pretty good distance. Like I can stand over here by this Odin, left Odin, and hit the right Odin. So I'm gonna actually try to hit both of them here. Now it's gonna slow them. Did some damage. It's got the little slow down underneath there, and that's that. You want to kill a god with that slow procced on them, because then it'll add a passive to that item and it'll become even more potent later on. So the sooner you do that, the better. It's not as important as say getting a Jibalanque passive procking, or stacked. But you want to stack the slows on her too. Now, for her 3, I'm going to come over here because you got some distance. You could go in place if you really want to. It doesn't make sense, but I guess if you wanted to juke them out, they would think you were going that way and you just stand still. So, it is a teleport or a leap. So, what that means is I can actually go over the wall. And I'm going to go over the wall here just to show you that it's possible. Now, did you see the second delay or half-second delay that was there? Now I'm still stealthed here, hence the gray. Now I'm back. Well, we're gonna do that again. All right, we're gonna go over here and do it again. Now just watch when I hit it, how long it takes for her to do it. I'm gonna hit it right now. Yeah, okay, so like half a second. That half a second, you can get melted pretty quick. You know, stunned out of it, you know, taunted out of it. So you could hit the button and still not be able to get that leap off. Now, the cooldown won't go down, but you're stuck and you're sitting there like, what the hell? You're freaking jamming your finger on the damn 3 to get the hell out, and it's not happening. It's just not happening. Hopefully I'm not yelling. It's a new mic. I don't know, you know, exactly where I need to be. So if I'm yelling, I apologize. Now her ultimate is this. You know, you throw it down, it's a silence, boom, the explosion for the damage. It's just like hitting them. So that's that. I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, those are her abilities. Now, in terms of how you're going to combo them together, her 2 is going to be her wave clear. Early game, her 2 is just going to, you're going to use that in conjunction with your basic attacks. You're going to want to be pretty much in line. Say if this pathway was the path of the minion wave, you want to be in line, hitting as many as you can. You might want to be offline a little bit just so, you know, the enemy team doesn't hit you, because usually they have wave clear abilities that go straight down too. And then you'll throw out your 2, and that will hit the wave as well. So early game, your 2 will be your wave clear. So your combos though that you're gonna want to do. You cleared the wave. It's just you and this Odin, and this Odin's used his freaking kit. He's kind of stuck. You want to slow and proc the 1 and just chase. They're going to try to probably run away at this point, and you just want to stay on them. With the Fatalis and the Wind Demon, you're going to be able to just destroy them. If they stay alive after, you know, your 1's done proccing, you can still hit them pretty damn good, you know, even at range, because you're getting all those things there. And if you look, sometimes it's kind of confusing because it looks like there's more than 1 out there, like 3. It might just be an optical illusion. Maybe I'm just messing with you. Anyway, and that's pretty much the combo. You're gonna use the ult. When you use the ult, since it takes about that second before it actually does the damage, it silences first and does the damage. You're gonna want to kind of lead. You're gonna want to kind of see which way they're running. You know, if this Odin was running towards me, pop it right here. If they're running away, they're gonna go on the other side, pop it there, and by the time they actually get there, you know, maybe not that far away, maybe a little bit closer. But if they're backing up, you want to lead the shot essentially. You know, kind of like an FPS thing here. You want to guess, I guess, or estimate where they're going to be when the damage procs. Because the silence is great. The silence is great because if they get in there, they can't dash, they can't leap, they can't do anything else, and they're going to get hit. But if you do it with them like inside the center, they're going to have an opportunity potentially, depending on how fast they are, to get outside the ring before the damage is done. Now I've had some awesome plays with it, and I've had some freaking dumbass misses with it. So, you know, it's going to take some time to get that down. Her 3 can be used mostly to escape. It can be used to initiate. It can be used to chase. You know, you get this right Odin down to 1/4 health, and you still have all your cooldowns. You know, let me see. But he's far away. You just hit that, and boom, and then shred. 3, 2, 1. Essentially what it is. And then if they're even getting away again, you just hit him with that. Let's hit this. Let's hit this Ra. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna hit the Ra with. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I killed him before that went off. Anyway, that went quick. First blooded. Get wrecked. AI bot who doesn't move. Well, he does move, but I killed him too quickly. Anyway, that's pretty much it. The order you want to rank them up, like I said, the 2 is the wave clear early game, so I usually rank up the 2. And then the 1, and then the ult whenever it pops up. The stuff on the 3 here, you know, it just extends the duration of stealth. You know, it's not that important. You know, reduces the cooldown too. But I use it primarily as a getaway. So keeping it at rank 1 as long as you can is not going to hurt you. You want the damage from the 2 and the 1 and the ults whenever you want. That's pretty much it. You know, I hope this was informative. I kind of went quick. Hopefully didn't mumble too much. Hopefully didn't yell too much into the mic. And, you know, if it helped you out, great. Let me know down below. If you have any comments, you know, why you prefer Warrior Tabi or Tabby, or however you freaking pronounce it, as opposed to the Ninja Tabby, let me know. You know, you don't like going full crit. Right now, these 3 crit items are the meta for most basic attack gods like this, because it's just the attack speed and penetration and crit abilities. It's just ridiculous. I mean, Fatalis is huge for her, especially because it just reduces the amount of time that she's practically standing still. Anyway, sorry, getting back onto the wrong path here. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up all the way. Let your friends know. Yeah, what the hell, you know, I've been doing this for about a year now, so I still have a good amount of gods to get through. I do 1 a week. So leave a comment below if you want a specific god in the future, and I'll try to get around to it, or point you to the one before, or do an update on the one, because a lot has changed from Season 2 to Season 3, as in terms of items and the meta and everything. So, yeah, that's that. I'm just rambling now, so I guess I will just catch you guys in the next one. A peace.